Hello everyone, welcome back to our Python programming course. So in the previous classes, we learned about variables and data types, right? So today we are going to learn one of the most important concepts in programming. So that is operators and expressions in Python. So before learning operators, let's first understand something called an expression. Imagine I ask you what is the answer to 5 plus 3. You immediately say 8. Now think about what happened. Python looked at the numbers and the operator, performed a calculation and produced a result. Any piece of code that produces a value is called an expression. Any piece of code that produces a value is called an expression. So, what is an expression? Think of an expression exactly like a mathematical problem. When you were in school, you solved problems like 10 plus 20, 15 into 4, 100 by 5. Each of these calculations gives a final answer, right? So, similarly, in Python, whenever we write something that Python can evaluate and return a value, it is called an expression. For example, if I take 5 plus 3, Python calculates it and produces the output as 8. So this is an expression. Another example is 7 greater than 3. So Python checks the condition and produces true. So since it gives a result, it is also called an expression. Components of an expression. So there is mainly three components which are operands, operators, and the result. So every expression has three important parts, which are the operands, operators, and the result. So what is operands? Operands are simply the values on which operations are performed. So if I take the above example as 5 plus 3, here 5 and 3 are the operand. Think of operands as the ingredients in a recipe. Without ingredients, you cannot cook food, right? So, similarly, without operands, you cannot perform operations. And next, operators. Now, imagine you have two numbers, 5 and 3. How does Python know what to do with them? Should it add them, subtract them, multiply them, or divide them? This decision is made by operators. Operators tells Python which action needs to be performed. So, for example, 5 plus 3. Here, plus sign tells Python add these two numbers. And next one is result. After performing an operation, Python produces an answer. This answer is called the result. So here, after performing the 5 plus 3, we will get the output as 8. So in simple words, the workflow is expression, evaluation, and result. That's the complete process. Next, what are operators? Think of operators as action words. In English, we have words like run, jump, eat. These describes the actions. Similarly, operators describe actions for data. For examples, plus, minus, into, divided by. These symbols tells Python what operation should be performed. Next, types of operators in Python. So there are several types like arithmetic operators, comparison operators, and logical operators. Let's understand each one. First one is arithmetic operators. The arithmetic operators are used for mathematical calculations. Whenever you perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, you are using arithmetic operators. Think of them as the calculator operators inside Python. So these arithmetic operators are covered in the previous classes. So please just refer the classes. Now I'm just skipping this part. And next, comparison operators. So what is comparison operators? These operators compare values. In the name itself having comparison, right? So these operators are used to compare values. Think of them as judges. They don't perform calculations. Instead, they decide whether something is true or false. For example, if we are having 10 double equal to 10, so Python asks, are these values equal? And the answer is true. Yes, the 10 is equal to 10, right? So in these we have equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. So these conditions are done by using condition statements like if and else. So as we are not covered the condition statements part, I'm just going towards the theoretical part. Okay, so when we are in the conditional statements class, I'll cover it later. So first one is equals to. So it checks whether two values are the same or not and gives the result as true or false. Not equal to means here we are taking an example of 10 not equal to 20. If 10 is not equal to 20, then gives the result as true, else part will be result as false. Next, greater than. If 20 is greater than, yes. If 20 is greater than 10, yes, 20 is greater than 10, right? So the output will be true. 5 is less than 10, yes. So the output will be true. Next, is 10 is greater than or equal to 10? Yes, 10 is equal to 10. So the output will be true. Here we are using two symbols at the same time, which means greater than or equal to. So it checks if one symbol satisfies the condition or not. So here 10 is equal to 10. So the equal to part satisfies the condition. So it results true. Here 5 is less than or equal to 10. Yes, it satisfies less than part. So it gives true. Next, logical operators. Logical operators helps us combine multiple conditions. Imagine a company wants employees who satisfy age above 18 and age below 30. So both conditions must be true. This is where logical operators become useful. So in these we have and operator, or operator, and not operator. So and means every condition must be true. So here I am taking age equal to 20. And in the print statement, I have written age greater than 18 and age less than 30. So 20 is in between 18 to 30, right? So the output is true. Or else if I take age equal to 5, then this condition will be false and output will be false. So in the or operator, or means at least one condition must be true. Here I have taken age equal to 15. So in the print statement, I have written age less than 18 or age greater than 60. So here age equal to 15 will come under age less than 18, which will be true. And next, not operator. Not reverse the answer. Think of it as the opposite switch. For example, if we write not true, then it will be false. If we write not false, then it will be true. Okay. Next, expression evaluation. So whenever Python sees an expression, it evaluates it and produces a result. For example, result equal to 5 plus 3. So Python calculates it, the output as 8 and stores it in the variable result here. Okay. And next one is operator precedence. Before understanding operator precedence, let me ask you a question. Suppose I have written 5 plus 3 into 2. What should Python calculate first? Like if someone says 5 plus 3 equal to 8, 8 into 2 equal to 16. So the output is 16, but it is wrong. The final answer is 11. But why? Because Python follows a set of rules that are called as operator precedence. So what is operator precedence? Operator precedence determines the order in which operators are evaluated when an expression contains multiple operators. Think of it like a school assembly. Principal speaks first, teacher speaks next, student speaks last. Everyone has a priority, right? Similarly, operators also have priorities. Higher priority operators execute first, lower priority operators execute later. So this is the table of the operator precedence. The rule 1 is parenthesis have highest priority. Parenthesis has highest priority. So in the example, we are taking 5 plus 3 into 2, output is 11. Okay. So if this example has a parenthesis, then the output will be, can you guess? Then the output will be 16. How like the first step is 5 plus 3 equal to 8. And the second step is 8 into 2 equal to 16. So the output will be 16. So I'll show you. So if I taken an expression as so here the parenthesis has highest order, right? So first the Python will run this part. Inside the parenthesis part will be run first. So here the output will be 8. And next the Python will go to this part. So it will do into 2 and the output will be equal to 16. Okay. Next, the second priority has given to exponent. So in this example, if not using parentheses, then the output will be. So here, the exponent has highest order compared to the plus operator. So Python will runs 2 into 3 first. So it will be 6. And next, it will add plus 5 to it. So the output will be 11. Okay. Next, multiplication, division and float division modulus. This is having priority number 3. Let us see an example for this. So if I having 10 plus 4 into 2. So Python performs multiplication first, which is 4 into 2, that equal to 8. And next, it will add 8 to 10. So the output will be 18. Okay. Next, addition and subtraction. So both operators have same priority. Python moves left to right. So let us see an example. If I have 20 minus 5 plus 2. So here the Python will first calculate 20 minus 5, which is equal to 15. And then 15 plus 2, which is equal to 17. So the final answer is 17. And comparison operators having the priority number 5. Here first I'll take an example. 5 plus 3 greater than 6. So the plus and minus has highest priority compared to the comparison operators, right? So first it will execute 5 plus 3 5 plus 3, which is equal to 8, then it will compare it by 6. Like, is 8 is greater than 6? Yes. So it will return true. And the next priority is given to the logical not. So the logical not, if I take an example like not of true, then the logical not will be produce an output as false. Okay, logical not. And 7 and 8 priorities is assigned to logical and logical or. These are all covered in the previous part, right? Okay. And the next one is beginner projects. So these are small programs that I have designed for you. You guys can try it by yourself. First, if you are getting any error, then check the document later. Okay? Don't just simply copy or paste it. First, try it by yourself. So now I'm gonna tell you some real world programs. So the first real world program is password strength checker. So password strength checker. Whenever you create an account on Instagram, Facebook, Gmail, LinkedIn, you may have seen messages like password too short, password must contain a number, password must contain a special digit. So like that, this program performs a simplified version of that check. So let us see step by step. So first, I'm taking a variable called password and asking the user to enter the password and storing it in the password variable. So suppose the user enters Python 123, like Python 123. Now the variable password will stores Python 123 in it. Okay. And next, so here, if length of password greater than or equal to 8 means the length function counts the number of characters in the password. So for example here, if the user enters Python 123, the count will be how? The count will be 9. So Python checks is 9 greater than or equal to 8. So the result is true. Therefore, Python enters the if block. So most websites require minimum 8 characters, right? Sometimes 10 or 12 characters maybe. Short passwords are easy to hack. Like for example 123789. It is very weak. So for example Python 123 is much better than 123 or 345. And the next step is hash digit equal to false. So we create a variable called hash digit and initialize. Python assumes hash digit equal to false, meaning no number found yet. Think of it like a detective searching for clues. Initially, there is no clue, so clue found is no, so that will be false. So here for ch in password, this loop examines every character one by one. Suppose password equal to Python 123. So Python reads as P, Y, T, H like one by one character at a time. And in the next line, if ch dot is digit, checks whether a character is a digit. For example, 5 is a digit. So that's why I have used digit. So the output will be the output will be true. So if we get a character, then the output will be false. Like it will be like I'll show you. Like if P, then output will be no. If Y, no. But if 5, then it is yes. The workflow is like this. Next, has digit equal to true. Now Python updates has digit equal to true, meaning a number exists in the password. A number is exist in the password. So means if has digit means Python checks has digit double equal to true. If it is true, then it will print strong password. Next. So if this condition is fail, then it will go to the else block and it will print password must contain a number. Or if the condition is fail in this block, then it will directly print password must contain at least 8 characters. So this is one of the mostly performed real world problem that you must know. So if I enter, so it's showing password must be at least 8 characters. If okay, okay. So okay, due to some network issues, it is showing like that. You guys can try it and it will gives the result. So I hope you learned something on this class and I hope you like this video. That's it for today, guys. Thank you.